The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a platform and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. These Best You EXPO talks are recorded in front of a live audience in a live event. We highly recommend that you focus on the message. As they say, what you focus on expands. Enjoy. Ione Butler. Ione is the founder of Uplifting Content. She's a social media influencer, female entrepreneur, keynote speaker, and actress. As the founder of Uplifting Content, she has on her Facebook over 1.2 million followers, and she's on a mission to inspire others to reach their potential and live life to the fullest. She leads by example because she has already created her dream life and wants the same for as many people as possible. She does the same by sharing inspiring insights and stories and encouraging others to take action. Enjoy her talk. Ione is a super positive girl with an amazing and inspiring story. Thank you.
Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Amazing. I'm Ione Butler, and I'm an actress, a host, and I'm the founder of a platform called Uplifting Content, which is followed by about 1.5 million people around the world. And today I'm here to talk to you about... Whoa! Oh, hello, presentation. Sorry, I'm too speedy for you. Sorry, guys. Today I'm here to talk to you about why I started Uplifting Content, how this platform is impacting millions of people. Whoa, there we go. And how this idea, this platform, this movement can help change lives and change the world. But first of all, before we start, I just want to get an idea from you how you're feeling. Oftentimes we ask each other, how are you doing today? How's it going? And we say, good. It's just a general response. It's not really a truthful, authentic reason and an answer to how we're feeling. So for me, I would say I'm feeling slightly nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling the heart pumping. So just one word that sums up how some of you are feeling right now in this moment. Thank you, honey. Excited? Anything else? Curious? Nice. What was that? Hungover. Thank you for your honesty. So we're at the Best You, and so I was expecting that people would be in good spirits. Great to hear they're excited and curious and things like that. But just by show of hands, how many of you would say that you have felt anxious, low, worried, stressed in the last couple of weeks, say? Thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate it. Basically, I keep forgetting what slides I have. You're not alone. I know from my own personal experience, through speaking to friends and family and hundreds of people in the Uplifting Content community that I speak to on a weekly basis, that there are a lot of people struggling right now. People are stressed by the political climate we're in. They are worried about the future for their children and what's happening with the environment. They're worried about debt and finances. For me, I personally freak out whenever I'm worried about, how am I going to pay my rent this month? It's incredibly stressful. 1 in 5 Americans take psychiatric drugs in a given year. That's a lot of people that are taking medication for their mood. And a statistic that I learned recently that was really troubling was that there are 123 suicides in America per day. That's one person every 13 minutes that takes their own life. And for every successful attempt, 25 people have a failed attempt. Now, I'm not telling you these statistics. They're depressing statistics, and I'm not trying to depress you, but the reason that I'm sharing that is because there's it proves the point that there are a lot of people who need to and want to feel uplifted in the world. It's something that we're all really in need of. And so that's why I started Uplifting Content, because the world needs more of it. So I'm just going to play you, if they can turn that down, I'm just going to play you a short video which explains what Uplifting Content is about. So for anyone that doesn't know, just gives you an idea of what we're doing and what we're working towards. So why did I start Uplifting Content? This is fun. Okay. Forget it. So all my life I've dealt with depression. It's something that I've experienced on and off. When I am not feeling depressed, I'm doing things like this, standing up on stage, talking to people, growing businesses, traveling the world, having amazing experiences with my friends. Life is good. And when I am experiencing depression, it's like my light's gone out. I don't care. Like, I don't care about life. I don't care about helping people. I don't care about anything. I hate it. And the reason that I do this is because I know there's so many people out there that feel the same way. I'm getting emotional talking about it. So many people that, want to do incredible things, that have so much potential within them. But when you're feeling in that space stuck, it is so difficult to do it. So there are many reasons that people feel low, depressed, anxious. But one of the main reasons that I find is because of the content we consume. The content we consume on a daily basis. So how many of you watch the news on a daily basis? A few. Okay. And how do you feel when you watch the news? So some words. Horrible. Depressed. Anxious. Right. Worried. Huh? Scared. Thank you. I stopped watching the news about 7 years ago for that very reason. I felt sad, depressed, hopeless. And so basically I stopped watching the news. And here's the thing. It's not like I'm any less informed. I still hear, and something big happens, I hear about it within a few hours on social media or through my friends. But what I'm not doing is watching it first thing in the morning, setting off on my day, thinking that the world is awful and everything is terrible. I don't watch it at night before I go to bed so that my subconscious goes into kind of overdrive, thinking about all these horrendous things. So that's what I'm programming myself into. So for anyone that still does watch it, I would say give yourself this challenge for a week just to not watch the news. I promise you the world won't come to an end, but I guarantee you will feel better. And if you feel like you need to stay informed, I respect that, I get that. I would say choose a reputable news source that you know values journalistic integrity, values truth, and check that once a day, not first thing in the morning, not in the evening, but a time that suits you. But don't allow that to kind of make you think that the world is something that it's not. And the reason that I have an issue with the news is 90% of it is negative, and that's not a fair representation of the world and other people and humanity. For example, one mentally unstable person goes into a school and shoots innocent students. It's awful. And I've had people, and I say this, what's happening to the world? What's wrong with people? We hear that story, but we don't hear about the thousands of other people, the doctors and nurses who are there to support, the people that give blood, the thousands of other strangers that rally to support the victims and the families of the victims for these tragedies. We don't hear those stories. So I'm not saying bury your head in the sand, forget these things are happening, because that's not the case. We need to do things about what's happening. But I'm saying also for everything of that, remind yourself of all the amazing things that other people are doing, because it's those stories that motivate us and get us up and empower us. And that's what we're lacking. So why do we only see, what's happening? Doesn't want to go back. That's fine. So why do we only see negative stuff on TV, in the news especially? Because violent, depressing, and emotionally charged news stories bring in viewers. The more people that tune in and watch it, the more they show it to us. But why? Why do we tune in and watch these things? A lot of times people say they don't like it, and yet the ratings show that they're tuning in and watching it. We as humans have a thing called a negativity bias, which is a tendency to pay more attention to things that are events that are worrying and disturbing in nature. And the reason that we have that stems from our evolution. It's to survive, you need to pay attention to the things that are a threat, things that are worrying. And so I get that. We want to pay more attention to the things that we need to be mindful of in order to survive. But when you know that, we know that that's something that we do, you can make a choice to not just pay attention to those types of things. And the reason that it's important that we recognize what we're doing and we make a choice to what we're consuming is how, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Oh my, okay, here we go, it's catching up. It's because how consuming this type of content affects us. Where am I here? So, excuse me while I just figure out where I've lost my place. So according to some psychologists, exposure to negative, violent media has serious detrimental impacts on our health. There is a psychologist called Dr. Graham Davey who says that negative news can significantly change an individual's mood. That's a no-brainer. We can all relate to that. especially if there's a tendency in the news broadcast to emphasize suffering and the emotional components of the story. In particular, negative news can affect your own personal worries. Viewing negative news means you're more likely to see your own personal worries as more threatening and severe. And that brings me to the crux of this whole point. If you're watching news, not only does it make you feel bad, it makes you feel worse and worry more and concern more about your own life and your own life situation. And the reason that that is a concern is, it brings me on to my next point, is our thoughts shape our reality. So if you're watching stuff that makes you think that you are not good enough or the world is awful and that people are awful, that is the reality that you're creating for yourself.
Having promoted more than 600 speakers and more than 65,000 people attend my seminars and courses and workshops and expos, having read so many books and attended so many courses, I really realized that the basics of personal, professional growth is based on the power of the question. Asking yourself empowering questions. Read my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose. It's based on my work, 30 years of entrepreneurship, all the experiences that I have, my manifesto, and what's really important. So for more information, go to www.thequestion.co.
What you think about, you bring about. Has anyone ever read The Secret? It was one of the first books I read on personal development, and it's about the law of attraction and about how your thoughts shape your reality. And when I first read it, I would think really, I thought that it was, you think really hard about a thing and then it just arrives. Like, think about $1 million arrives. And that's not quite how it works. But there is so much truth to this point that the more you think about, the more you give energy to with your thoughts, directly impacts your reality. And I'll give you some examples. If you think you are a failure, that's a belief you have about yourself. You're going to feel awful. You're going to feel like a failure. You're not going to feel good, which means that you're going to go out into the world, and not put yourself out there. You're not going to step up at work. You're not going to want to take opportunities. You're not going to go out and do the things you want to do because you don't feel good about yourself, which means that your actions or inactions acting like a failure, which means that you're not going to be where you want to be in life, reinforcing the belief that you're a failure. Another example of this is, say somebody feels alone and that they have no friends. They're going to feel bad about that. They're not going to feel good. Hi, darling. Which means that they're not going to pick up the phone to ask somebody to hang out. They're not going to go out and make friends and try and connect with a bunch of people because they don't feel good, which means that they're going to be alone, which reinforces the belief that they have no friends and they're a failure. So our thoughts are directly impacting our reality. And for me personally, I just want to share a story. I was supposed to be at the Best You EXPO in London last month, and I had been feeling very depressed since October. And I felt awful about it. I kind of had started slacking with uplifting content stuff. I just was overwhelmed by the whole concept of it. I didn't feel like I wanted to do the talk. So one of the things I think is, like, how can I get up on stage and inspire people when I feel like I'm dead inside, basically? I can't do it. So I emailed and cancelled it. I didn't go to London and spend time with my friends and family. I didn't get up on stage. I didn't do the speaking thing. And it made me feel bad. An example of how my belief directly impacted my reality. This is no joke, guys. What we're thinking about, we create with our lives. What's happening next? On the flip side of that is when you realize that this is what's happening and you change your beliefs and you have empowering beliefs, anything you want is possible. And one of my favorite quotes is, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve," by Napoleon Hill. Another story, I've been running uplifting content for about 2 years. We've got about 1.3 million people on Facebook that follow the page. And I've been doing talks, speaking to like 20,000 people on a Facebook Live, asking, taking questions from them, being there to support them. Facebook recently changed their algorithms, which means that it's like cut a lot of the organic traffic to the page, and it's been really difficult to reach people. And I've taken that personally. All this work that I've done, and now I can't contact and connect with my community. It's heartbreaking and very stressful. And I was speaking to a friend of mine called Adam, and he said to me, "Ione, why are you stressing so much about Facebook?" I have a podcast called the Uplifting Content Podcast, and I've interviewed some amazing human beings that have these huge speaking careers. I interviewed Mastin Kipp a couple of weeks ago, and Gabby Bernstein, and all these wonderful people. And he said to me, you're interviewing all these people and you have a following that's bigger than them. They've got these fantastic careers. Why are you not speaking? Why don't you have a book? And it was because I didn't believe that I was worthy enough to do those things. And him pointing out that fact that you have done the work, you have been helping people, you have got this following. I needed him to say that for me to get to what I'm doing, which is why I'm standing here today, which is why I didn't cancel this talk. And a week after our conversation, I'd signed with a literary agent, a really great literary agent in New York, and I'm in the process of doing an uplifting content book series. So thank you. Thank you very much. But the point is, I wouldn't have done that. I could have gone the other way. Our thoughts are shaping our reality. Let's see what slide's happening now. So this is the whole purpose of uplifting content. My mission is to help people recognize and realize that by changing the content we consume, changing the stories we have, we change our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, about others, and about the world around us, which changes our actions, which gets us up doing things, pursuing our passions, dreams, whatever, which changes our reality. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, is one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Dyer, and I couldn't agree with it more. So, the first exercise that I would like you to do today is to think of one limiting belief that you have. Partner up with somebody in here. Think of one limiting belief that you have and one empowering belief that you have. Because I really want you to start getting used to this concept that what you're thinking about is affecting your reality. A lot of the times we identify with our thoughts. One that I've just recognized that I have is I'm not a good writer. So I haven't been writing. And when I actually do start to write, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. But by telling myself I'm not a good writer, I'm not writing, I'm not getting into the habit of writing. So I want us to start to think about these things and recognize it. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes each to do, and then in pairs, one limiting belief you have, how does it make you feel, act, create your reality? And then one empowering belief that you have and how that makes you feel, act, and create your reality. So partner with someone lovely that's sat next to you. And you've got a couple of minutes to do that. Okay, thank you guys. I'd love to hear some from you. So who is feeling open and honest enough to share a limiting belief that they have observed that they have? Anyone? Amazing, thank you. What is it? Yeah.
Just not believing I could reach the heights with my financial health that I saw going on around me all the time, and I just noticed that I stay in these cycles, and I keep sort of sabotaging myself in some ways, or it feel like a great opportunity would come and something would happen that would just mess it up, and so it kind of speaks to what she was saying about just the way that you're thinking, creating that reality, and I'm actually writing a book about that, so be watching out for that book later. Success over sabotage. Awesome.
Thank you. We can give it out. And so anyone that's had an empowering belief that they want to share? Share, so I get American sometimes. An empowering belief, anyone? No? Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks. Julie?
So for me, my empowering belief goes to what I have in my hand right now, which is my day planner. And it's the fact that I actually have way more time available to me during the day than I lead myself to believe. My limiting belief was dealing with self-care. And when I actually look at the time that's available, I do have time to go to the gym. I do have time to take the bath with my book. I do have time to sit and have the cup of coffee without somebody pulling at my shirt sleeve.
Yeah.
So,
and then now you're giving yourself more time.
Correct.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. So I hope this exercise just kind of shows you that what you're thinking about, you are bringing about. Now you know that you can control the thoughts. You can decide how you want to live. You can decide the types of relationships you have. it's up to you, basically. And that's why we started uplifting content, because I want to kind of get us changing the way we think about ourselves, others, and the world around us. If you go out thinking that everybody is, awful in the world, you're going to go out with a certain type of attitude in the way that you're speaking to people, which is going to reflect a certain type of attitude back to you. If you go out thinking that I want to connect and give love and just connect with really amazing humans, you're going to be greeted with a very different reality. And again, with the world around you, if you're going to go out, if you think that the world's a terrible place, you're going to see all those types of things. If you go out looking for the remarkable things that people are doing, that's what you're going to see. That's the world that you're going to create for yourself. So our thoughts shape our reality. The next thing I want to really reiterate, I haven't even started, so iterate, I don't know, is kind of giving you that belief of how much you make a difference and how much you make a difference. My business is online. Uplifting Content is a Facebook page that I'm working on taking people offline and doing more things like this where I can actually connect with people in the community. But the problem with that is, as much as we have a massive following, I don't always realize what is going on. I just kind of talk to a screen. Some people comment, but I'm not really seeing everybody and the impact that I'm making. And like I say, with the whole Facebook changes and other things and my own personal stuff, sometimes I feel like not continuing doing it, but not really thinking that I'm making much of a difference or having an impact. And it's only when I get certain messages from people, I don't go through them a lot, and there's hundreds and I should be going through them more, that I really realize the impact that we are making. One of them, so I'm just going to read you 3 messages that I've had. I was going through a bad time, and basically I prayed to God to help me. I then opened my phone, scrolled through Facebook, and just clicked on a basic meme. After that video was over, I saw another video. It belonged to this page. It inspired me. I just kept watching and watching more and more. I just want to thank you for having this page up. I hope you keep making and sharing uplifting content, because just like me, you never know who will need it and when. So that was one. Hi, I'd just like to say your page is amazing. I watched your vlog, and this page has got me through hard times I've had whilst training with the army. Please keep doing what you're doing. If there's any way to donate to your page, I would be more than happy. And then the last one. First off, I just want to start by saying I love the site. Lately, I've been very sad and down, not sure where my life is going, or even if I have a position in this world. I have nobody personally to uplift me, and most of what I see on Facebook and the news is depressing. So thank you for making one moment in my life a little brighter. This stuff, I can't tell you how much it means the world to me. And I don't read these messages a lot, but that is the impact that I'm having on people. And I don't think these people realize that by taking it 2 minutes out of their day to send me that is what keeps me going and doing what I'm doing. We are so powerful. This is the impact that I'm having on them. This tiny message is the impact that they're having on me. And we don't always realize this. And it's the smallest things that we can do that make a difference. Smiling at somebody, genuinely asking how they are and listening to how they're doing. Simple things that we can do on a daily basis. And so the next exercise I want to do, I love doing this because it's just the simplest thing. And I know how much it impacts me, so I know that it's going to make a difference. Is to honestly send somebody a message right now that you think they're doing a great job. Someone that inspires you, someone that you are grateful to have in your life, someone you just see what they're doing and you're like, you know what, you're amazing. And send them a message. I sent one to my stepmom the other day, something like this. Hi, lovely. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. I also want to say I think you're doing an amazing job as a mum, a wife, a breadwinner, and homemaker all in one. I know it must be incredibly stressful, but you're incredible. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Have you used your massage yet that I bought her for her birthday? She still hasn't used it. It was like last summer, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. Anyway, she got back to me just to say thank you and that it made her day and that she really appreciated it because she's very stressed and tired. So I want you to take you got 2 minutes just to send someone a message and give them that boost. That's the power that you have. So I'm going to send 1, 2.
If you're interested in speaking, exhibiting, or getting involved in the largest personal development expos in the world, contact us today at www.thebestyouexpo.com or send us an email to info@thebestyou.co.
How's it going? So who did you, for anyone that's still messaging, keep going, I love it. Who wants to share a message that they sent? Yeah, who did you message? What did you say? Oh, can we get the microphone again, please, David? Thank you. This guy over here. Just this guy over here. He's just standing up at the back there, yeah. Thank you. Hey, darling.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for doing all this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Yeah, I texted my mother. After my father passed away a couple of years ago, I've been closer to my family. We weren't that close as a family, so now we're closer. I text her, thanks for giving me life. And she wrote back, are you doing affirmations? I had to say that.
I mean, you kind of just hit her with like something heavy out of the blue. Like, that was a bit of a big one.
Yeah.
You could have like eased it in a little bit more. Hey, Mom, I've just been thinking about you. I'm just really grateful. Thanks for giving me life. But it's a bit of a intense one. So yeah.
Yeah, that was
But that's awesome. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share? Yep. Over here. Thanks. Oh, it's quiet.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
When you said to do that, I looked at my phone and realized I had done 2 this morning.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
So on a level.
My daughter did an open mic night last night, so I texted her music teachers and said, awesome, thank you so much for everything you do for my kids. But I just texted my mother-in-law. She's moving soon, and so I just wanted to let her know how much we are going to miss her when she moves.
Beautiful. Did you hear back from the teachers?
Yes,
what did they say?
They said, wow, thanks for letting me know.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else want to share one? Anybody else? It's all good. I'm curious to hear what some of the responses are too, because that's my favorite thing. Thank you. Cool. So now we've looked at our, got to get this slide thing going. Now we've looked at our beliefs, how they shape our reality, been reminded of the impact that you can make by just doing the tiniest of things. So now I would love for you to get specific. We've got a few minutes left, and I would just like you to have a chat for about 5 minutes with your partner. Get your phones up, take notes. The idea is that when you know that you're capable of, you can be, do, have anything, that's when things really start to shift and things change in life. And so I hope that we've kind of shown you that that's possible by what you're thinking about, you're bringing about. And now I would really like you to think of, what would you do if you knew you could never fail? What would you do if money was no object? And I'd love you to write down 10 things with your partner that you want to do this year if you knew you could never fail, if money was no object. And then we're not going to have time to do this now, but tonight I'd love for you to go home and just brainstorm 100 things that you want to do, because it starts by deciding and then believing that these things are possible and that you can do them. So, yeah, if you could, you got 5 minutes to just discuss and write down with your partner and say it to them, tell it to them, put it down. That's the beginning, that's the start of making these things happen. So, yeah, 5 minutes. We've only got 8 minutes left. Okay, you beautiful people, we're running out of time, so I'm going to quickly wrap that up, but keep going with these. Can I hear some feedback? Who wants to share some of the things that they are going to do this year? Graham, yes.
I'd love to.
Can we get the microphone again, David? Sorry. Thank you. Just for Graham here. Oh, he's right here. Beautiful. Thank you.
Hello? There we go. So my ideal life, if I had all the money in the world, would be to basically move to a cottage in the English countryside and just write. I'm a writer, screenwriter, and novelist, and so I would love to just do that full time and in a beautiful surrounding. And like what you were talking about, Ione, just be surrounded by beautiful things and not let the negativity in. So,
what would be an action that would help get you on the path to doing that?
Well, I keep thinking about that. That's the difficulty, is what can I do? Because so much of my work opportunities are relying on words from other people to give the go-ahead to something. And so I'm trying to figure out in my life how to take that. I started my own writing services company, and I think that's the first step.
Right.
And now I've got a potential client who's extremely interested, and it would be taking the decision-making out of other people's hands and putting it in my own hands.
Right.
So that would be, I guess, the first step.
Perfect. And that's it. It starts with, thank you, Graham. It starts with just deciding these things, because a lot of the times if you if you can't even make that decision and decide, you can't even start to plan these things. And for me, it was moving to America, deciding I want to move to America. Then it's what's the process? Speaking to lawyers, speaking to immigration, finding ways to kind of come out there, then taking those steps. But it starts with this decision making, and then that. I'm working on uplifting content is to raise people up, to uplift. Because when we're coming from that place, from that joy, from gratitude, from love, from compassion, from kindness, that gives us that power and that drive to do the things that we need to do to drive change. So I hope that gives you a better idea about uplifting content. Thank you for coming today. Thank you. You can check us out on social media. With the new changes on Facebook, if you like the page, you'll never see a post from Uplifting Content. But I mean, I can pay for ads to target you at some point. But the only way to really stay in touch is I have an email, my weekly-ish email. So it has all our giveaways and all the cool stuff that I'm doing and the events that we're trying to put together. So the Uplifting Content booth is right there if you want to sign up for that. I'm also working on the Uplifting Content book, which is a collection of uplifting stories. So if you've got a story, something that's personal to you, one that you've heard from somebody else, a famous story, anything that just lifts you up, come over to the booth. I'm filming people, and then I'll write them up properly and share them and stuff like that. So if you have something, come along. But I just want to say thank you so much. It is I was nervous about this. To have a room full of people that have stayed and have done the things, it honestly means the world. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.